I think my wife is having an affair with my son's kindergarten teacher. Hi, welcome to my channel. Today, we've got a story from our /relationship_advice where Op thinks that his wife is cheating on him with his son's kindergarten teacher. Before we start, if you have any personal stories of how you got out of a toxic relationship with your cheating wife or girlfriend that you want to share, feel free to email them to me. Let's get started. Original story. So, basically, I travel for work, but my wife is a stay-at-home mother to our 6-year-old son. He started school in August and we both met his kindergarten teacher. He was a really cool guy and eventually, he became one of our really good friends. He would come over sometimes to hang out on the weekends, etc. while giving our son home tuition. About a month ago, when I was home for a week or so, I found a change of men's clothes in the laundry hamper in the basement, recognizing them as not mine, and asked my wife about them. At first, she insisted they were mine, but as soon I pulled them out and said that I don't wear those kinds of clothes, her whole demeanor changed. She suddenly got very reserved and said it was his, my son's teacher's. She said that he came over, and went swimming. That's why they were there, because he had brought a change of clothes. She had never told me she had anyone over while I was gone, which is fine but a little odd. When I asked what day he was here, she told me the day, which was, conveniently, also the same day our security cameras were broken and she had to reset them or something. Still, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I and my wife never had any issues, so I just shrugged it off, and went to bed a few hours later. She was bathing in our master bathroom. I could hear my wife on the phone while she was in the bathtub, both being extremely quiet and giggly. I heard her legitimately say, "Ooh, I love your Batman voice." So, I got up and knocked on the door. The following conversation ensued. Me: "Hey, who are you talking to?" Her: "My sister." Me: "Your sister can do a Batman voice?" Her: "Why are you listening to my phone call?" Me: "I'm not. I overheard you." Then silence. She hurriedly got off the phone and came to bed a little later. I hate to say it, but I did go through her phone and immediately found a lot of stuff I don't like. Pictures of her and him, the teacher, with my son out doing things looking like a family. I found texts revealing that she had been making a lot of trips to the school and meeting him for lunch during the day and that he had gifted her flowers twice. Ultimately, I found weird hotel booking confirmations, in the teacher's name and the duration of the time I was gone, for a hotel in our city, for 2 adults and 1 child, which made me look back on some of the pictures I saw in her phone, and realize that at some point, she had taken my son to a hotel with the teacher, and all of them were together. I am not proud of going through her phone, and obviously, I didn't find anything romantic between their texts, but they do seem to be constantly eager to talk, and the hotel thing weirds me out frankly. I haven't taken any jobs super far away, for a while, mainly for a reason, and the more time goes on, the worse I feel about what I saw on my wife's phone. I think I'm going to straight up tell my wife, tonight, that someone told me that they saw her with the teacher at the hotel and that someone made a comment about how much she is at the school. I am especially concerned for my son, constantly wondering what he might have seen. As far as I have seen of his schoolwork and from what he's told me, he's doing a really good job in school and loves his teacher and classmates. He's well adjusted but talks about his teacher a lot, and even randomly blurted out when I took him to McDonald's that sometimes his mom makes him call his teacher uncle/daddy, which is just bizarre but also could just be him being a kid and saying weird things. Should I ask him? I mean, he's only 6. If he hasn't seen anything weird, I don't want to confuse him, but I also feel like if my wife is acting this way, I have to be sure my son isn't being hurt or involved in this. Update. I served my wife divorce papers, a week after my post was made. With the help of a damn good pie and another employee at my son's school, I had more than enough evidence to file on account of infidelity. Not that I needed this, but the harsh truth of the situation pushed me to go through with it. She denied everything at first, but caved and signed them later on in the evening, after realizing I meant it. Everything should be finalized in about 3-4 more weeks. I have primary custody of my son as of now, on account of my now ex-wife going ballistic with pain pills. Like going through $400 worth in a week. I am not sure how I didn't see all of the signs and I found this out via my pie. It made me realize I was away from home far too often. I was an absent father and husband and I am working every day to change that. It also made me realize how blindly I trusted her to woman up and be there for our child when I was away, and I hope I will never be that naive again. I hope she gets the help she needs, so she can cease the disappointment she has caused my baby, who cries a lot now. I feel terrible for him, and I'm not sure how she could have acted with such disregard for him, going into the affair, but I digress. As for the teacher, turns out he was on some sort of quarterly contract or something at the school. After a trip to the school system armed with what evidence I did have and quite the grievance against him, I have been informed that he has not been invited back for the new semester after Christmas break. Ex-wife has moved out of the house and is at her parents', but she comes on the weekends to see the kid. Sometimes I still love her, and my self-esteem is mostly shattered after this whole ordeal, but I am in therapy. So is my son. We've both had 2 sessions. We are going to be okay. I have family coming from out of the country for Christmas and he is so excited about that. Before we take a look at some replies by other Redditors, take a moment to like the video to show your support to the channel. Don't forget to leave your own opinion on the story in the comments down below. Now let's look at some comments. U/OK_breakfast9531 wrote. Wow. Just despicable behavior. Not just the infidelity but also the reckless exposure of your son to this person. Good luck and glad you and your son are in therapy. Hopefully, your soon-to-be ex-wife will get her shit together so your son can have both his parents in his life. Did she express any remorse? Or was she just upset about getting busted? Op replied to U/OK_breakfast9531 and wrote. I am also hoping she really pulls through with the rehab and slowly gets to a place where I can trust her to have him for the weekends at her place etc. I'm not going to stop her from being in his life but I will monitor the time they have until I'm sure she won't get him involved in any more chaos like this. She denied everything at first and it was all waterworks with the I love you. So we had a long talk and I told her she had to stop lying, and that she didn't love me. She agreed that she didn't love me and thought she could have both a boyfriend and a normal family at the same time. She's in therapy too I am sure because of the rehab. I hope the best for her, really, but what she did sucks. U/Office Max wrote. Op, I'm so sorry you're in this position. Understand that while you may have been absent a lot, your soon-to-be ex-wife is solely responsible for her actions. If she felt you were gone too much and needed more attention, she should have told you so, instead of seeking solace in the arms of another man. Good luck. U/J_2993 wrote. Shout out to you for being mature. Her cheating was not your fault, but you still found accountability. I'm sorry Op, things will get better for you and your son. You made a big step in the right direction by filing for divorce. If only more infidelity stories ended this way. It sucks that you dealt with this but I think you handled it fantastically. Great job. And, good for you, man, moving things quickly, doing therapy for you and your boy, and having primary custody, taking care of your boy, and doing what's right for him. Your son is lucky to at least have a father worth being around. Godspeed. U/Phoebe Pearson wrote. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Pat yourself on the back for dealing with this terrible situation with dignity and maturity. You seem like a thoughtful person and a good dad, I can tell from how much you worry over how your son's being affected. He'll be okay eventually. Keep going to therapy with him and give yourself time to heal and feel your emotions. You probably will miss her a lot some days, be angry others, it's all okay. You made the right decision. U/Itzelmina now wrote. Wow, what a couple of awful people. Getting your son to call this shit-stained daddy? No matter your absence, you should have been able to trust your wife to deal with the problem with your family's best interests at heart, not this. Good luck with the therapy, the self-confidence, and the new dynamic, hope it works out for you in the future. U/Why Am I Crying Now wrote. Is there any chance teacher was helping her get opiates? As someone who has known a lot of addicts, that would explain the affair more than the dynamic you've described. Op replied to U/Why Am I Crying Now and wrote. Yeah, some of them were his. U/Why Am I Crying Now replied to Op and wrote. Please remember that you did nothing to deserve this. Your marriage is a victim of the opioid epidemic. Much of the nation would understand your loss. Addiction changes people, makes them a shell of who they were, leads to them doing things that they hate themselves for. It also makes them easy to manipulate. There is no way you could have known that she would become an addict, as everyone is at risk. A man leaving jail sobbed to me about how his addiction led to him breaking into his grandmother's house to make $10. The drugs had messed with his mind so much that he forgot he could just ask his grandma for $10 or whatever object he was trying to steal to pawn, and she would have given it to him. As a sober man, he knows he could have just asked, but addiction totally fries a lot of the more civilized parts of your brain when you're itching for the drug, so he didn't even consider asking. Another inmate described some addictions as like people being infected by a demon. Both were describing stimulants in this case, but the addiction is the same. I grew up in the heat of the opioid epidemic in my town. Felt my family go through it, went to a lot of funerals for friends, saw what it did to boomers and teens alike. The anecdotes are still appalling, let alone the statistics. She will not be okay until she is long sober, and even then she won't be able to be around painkillers, Many former addicts will even refuse them in the hospital to avoid relapse, and can't be around people who do them. I do not think the army wife cliques are very good influences as far as substance abuse, so it may be good that she will be less affiliated. Rehabilitation treatments have come a long way, especially with medical marijuana when it comes to the many victims of the opioid epidemic still dealing with chronic pain. If she wants to recover, she can, but no one can make her. I would find your son one of the many children's books that helpfully explains addiction. Yes, this epidemic is so bad that there are kindergarten-level educational books on it. I am just sorry that she didn't seek out help for her addiction before it led to infidelity. Things could have been very different. Hopefully, she takes this seriously so she can be a consistent part of your son's life, but because of the major change for kiddo, I hope you put him in therapy long-term either way. What do you think about all of this? Do you think Op and his son will be able to heal from his wife's betrayal? Also, do you have any advice for Op on how he should move forward? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Hit the notification bell to make sure you never miss an upload.